This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(8:45). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, read by Soundithavam. The President emphasizes on climate action and international collaboration. The Prime Minister requests for a comprehensive report on converting the Oliville Harbour to the fishing harbour. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena pays attention on solving the problems of three-wheel drivers. Sri Lanka to ban single-use plastic products from October 1st. The Devaldena Nilame of the Sri Dalada Maligava emphasizes the importance of the support of spectators and viewers during the Kandy Dalada Parahara parading. The State Minister of Education says 2,500 second-language teachers and 5,500 graduate teachers will be recruited to the government schools. The heat index advisory issued warning of increased temperatures. In foreign news, Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft lands on Moon in victory cry of New India. And in sports, over 4,000 players for Milo Schools netball. A progressive meeting on climate change initiatives was held at the Presidential Secretariat this morning, underscoring Sri Lanka's commitment to climate action and international collaboration, the President's Media Division reported. The meeting, presided over by President Ranil Wickremesinghe, brought together key advisers and experts to discuss strategies to strengthen the nation's response to climate change. Addressing the meeting, President Wickremesinghe stressed the importance of resilience on both local and global fronts. Quote, "We must be formidable in our actions, both domestically and internationally," unquote, he declared, noting the critical role finance plays in supporting climate initiatives. He said that finance is the lifeblood of any endeavour and the country needs to build substantial strength in this arena, the PMD said in a statement. The President's call for action was backed by his observation that while numerous climate change initiatives are proposed, limited attention is given to the vital matter of financing. He said Sri Lanka's expertise in international economics, especially in climate financing linked to debt management, positions Sri Lanka uniquely. President Wickremesinghe also proposed the establishment of a National Consultative Committee with the involvement of private and public sector agencies. The manufacture and use of single-use plastic products will be banned in Sri Lanka with effect from October 1st, 2023, the Central Environment Authority says. Thereby, the manufacture and sale of single-use plastic straws, stirrers, cups, plates, knives, forks and spoons, as well as plastic string-hopper trays and garland products will be prohibited in the country. In February this year, the Cabinet of Ministers green-lighted a proposal tabled by the Environmental Minister to ban several plastic products in the country. Accordingly, the production, importation, selling and the use of the following items will not be allowed in Sri Lanka effective from June 1st, 2023. On October 30th, 2021, the Cabinet of Ministers took into account a proposal seeking permission to prohibit 7 single-use plastic, polythene and plastic products in the country. Subsequently, a committee of experts was appointed to look into the matter and to submit a report containing necessary recommendations. The heat index, the temperature felt on the human body, is expected to increase up to the caution level at some places in the north central and eastern provinces and in Vavuniya, Mullaitivu and the Monoragla districts, the Meteorology Department said in a heat index advisory. The heat index forecast is calculated by using relative humidity and the maximum body temperature, and this is the condition that is felt on the body. This is not the forecast of maximum temperature. It is generated by the Met Department for the next day period and prepared by using global numerical weather prediction model data. However, the Met Department has advised the members of the public to stay hydrated, take breaks in the shade as often as possible, check on the elderly and the sick, limit strenuous outdoor activities, find shade and wear lightweight and white or light-coloured clothing. The Indian High Commissioner Gopal Bagle says the bilateral ties between Sri Lanka and India will be further strengthened through 4 important fields. The High Commissioner made these comments at a meeting of the Sri Lanka-India Parliament Friendship Association held at the Parliamentary Complex. The High Commissioner also mentioned the ties between the two countries will be further strengthened through food and power security, financial cooperation and long-term investment. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena has paid attention on solving the problems of three-wheel drivers. The minister also focused his attention on the passengers travelling in three-wheelers. A special meeting to discuss the regulation of three-wheel transport was held today at the Ministry of Highways under the chairmanship of the minister. The representatives of the Three-Wheel Association and the members of the relevant trade unions attended this meeting. The meeting focused on ways and means of regulating the three-wheel transport system. The representatives of the Three-Wheel Association appreciated the efforts taken by the minister in this regard. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena requests for a comprehensive report on converting the Oluville harbour to a fishing harbour. A discussion in this regard was held today under the patronage of the Prime Minister. It was decided to submit a comprehensive report within 2 weeks. A 3-member committee is appointed to look into this matter. The Oluville harbour was officially declared open in 2013 and later in 2018 the activities at the harbour were suspended due to loading of sand at this site. The coastal areas of 5 divisional secretariat areas of Ampara district were affected due to this sand loading. The Devada Nilame of Sri Dalada Maligava, Pradeep Nilanka Dalla, emphasizes the importance of the support of spectators and viewers during the Kandy Dalada Perahera. The Devada Nilame paid his attention on the incident that occurred during the second Kumbal Perahera yesterday. The elephants participated in the parade and the pageant were disturbed due to the laser race, loudspeaker sounds and the torchlight from the mobile phones of the spectators. Therefore, the Devada Nilame requests the devotees and spectators to follow the guidelines during the Perahera. That concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The State Minister of Education, Aravind Kumar, said 2,500 second language teachers and 5,500 graduate teachers will be recruited to the government schools. Thereby, 8,000 teachers will be recruited to the government schools located island-wide. The State Minister made these comments at a media conference held at the President's Media Centre today. The State Minister further said the government plans to make many reforms in the education sector. The modern technology will be utilized in this process. Steps have been taken to provide vocational training and English language training to the students looking for the results of the GCE Ordinary Level and GCE Advanced Level examinations, and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
The health officials warn that several diseases are rapidly spreading among children with the prevailing dry weather conditions in the island. Dr. Deepal Pereira, a specialist doctor at the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital in Colombo, states that conditions such as dehydration are common with children these days. Therefore, Dr. Pereira also recommended that children should be provided with more liquids during these days. Furthermore, the specialist doctor claimed that the diseases like diarrhea can also spread widely among children with the prevailing dry weather, and came to you in Watchlight.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
Moving on to a bulletin of world news making headlines tonight. Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft lands on moon in victory cry of New India. Russia destroys 13,000 tons of Ukrainian grain destined for Egypt and Romania. and the owner of Pakistan cable car arrested by the police on negligence charges. An Indian spacecraft landed on the moon today in a mission seen as crucial to lunar exploration and India standing as a space power just days after a similar Russian lander crashed. Quote, "This is a victory cry of New India," unquote, said Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was seen waving the Indian flag as he watched a landing from South Africa, where he is attending the BRICS summit. Scientists and officials clapped, cheered and hugged each other as the spacecraft landed, and as the government now looks to spur investment in private space, launchers and related satellite-based businesses. 13,000 tons of grain have been destroyed in a Russian drone attack on a port in Ukraine's southern region of Odessa, officials say. The Danube River port of Izmail's export capacity has been reduced by 15% by the overnight strike, Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Kubrakov said. On the Telegram messaging app, several private grain terminals and warehouses were damaged, as well as cargo infrastructure, he said. The police in Pakistan have arrested the owner of a cable car that left 8 people stranded and dangling over a ravine when it malfunctioned. The incident in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa sparked a massive rescue operation lasting more than 12 hours. Officers detained Gul Zareen on multiple charges, including endangering valuable lives and negligence. The arrest comes after a child who was trapped in the chairlift said he feared it was over during the ordeal. Back to the headlines of the world news. Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft lands on moon in a victory cry of New India. Russia destroys 13,000 tons of Ukrainian grain destined for Egypt and Romania. And the owner of Pakistan cable car arrested by the police on negligence charges. With that, we conclude this bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities for well-experienced housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait for ages 40 to 58 years. Salary 125,000 rupees. Contact 037 7500 500.
The Industrial Development Board's National Food and Beverage Conference, slated for August 25, 2023, will feature an eminent lineup of speakers to help reshape the Sri Lankan food and beverage F&B industry and grow its export potential. The National Food and Beverage Conference, organized in collaboration with the Ministry of Industries and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization's BESPA food product, funded by the European Union (EU), will explore the market potential for Sri Lanka's F&B industries in international markets, establish a network between the industry, ministries, government departments, corporations and other statutory and regulatory organizations associated with the industry. That came to you in Development News.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia, ages 40 to 58 years. Arabic speaking and well-experienced home cooks. Salary 135,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can travel overseas free of charge now. Branches Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Employment Agency.
Moving on to sports news, the school netball players will get an opportunity to showcase their talents when more than 360 teams with 4,320 players in the age group under 13, 15, 17 and under 19 play in the final stage of the 30th Sri Lanka Schools Milo Netball Championship, which will be held at the Gallala Public Grounds, Polonnaruwa, from September 2nd to the 4th. This time, more than 1,400 teams participated in the first round of this Milo tournament, which was conducted on a centre basis. Last year, only 700 teams took part in the first round, but this time it has increased to 1,400 with A and B divisions. This is a boost for netball, said the president of the Sri Lanka Schools Netball Association, Nirodha Abevikrama, who is the principal of Malyadeva Balika Kurunegala. That came to you in sports news.
Go ekakthiyana youth ekat life ekේ change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB I Am, a plan for your dream.
Business News.
Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The State Minister for Primary Industries, Chamara Sampath Dasanaik, announced that the exports of gems and jewellery have generated an income of $315 million from January of this year until now. He further highlighted that the gems and jewellery sector has demonstrated an impressive export growth rate of 34% on facts corroborated by reports that came to you in Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news, in July 3, Sri Lanka's foreign reserve position exhibited a strengthening trend, reaching $3.8 billion, a notable year-to-date increase of 98.2% from $1.9 billion in December 2022. First Capital Research says that this upward momentum was underpinned by an easing of pressure on the BOP, surplus of $2 billion in the first half of 2023, supported by the substantial 34.8% year-on-year reduction in the trade deficit in the first half of 2023. Similarly, remittances and tourism receipts marked an impressive year-on-year growth rate of 75.3% and 28.8% respectively, which further bolstered the reserve position. Economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department says that a few showers will occur in the western and Sabragama provinces and in the Galle and Martara districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the central, Uva and eastern provinces and in the Mullaitiva district during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in the north central and northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota district. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The President emphasizes on climate action and international collaboration. The Prime Minister requests for a comprehensive report on converting the Oliville Harbour to a fishing harbour. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena pays attention on solving the problems of three-wheel drivers. Sri Lanka to ban single-use plastic products from October 1st. The Devavada Nilame of the Sri Dalada Maligava emphasizes the importance of the support of spectators and viewers during the Kandi Dalada Perera. The State Ministry of Education says 2,500 second language teachers and 5,500 graduate teachers will be recruited to government schools. The Heat Index Advisory issued warning of increased temperatures. Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft lands on Moon in victory cry of New India. And over 4,000 players from Milo Schools Netball. That concludes tonight's news broadcast.